What's going on, guys? Impulsive here, and today I'm bringing another FNaF Animtronic Origins video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about Nightmare and the Nightmare Animatronics. The Nightmare Animatronics are actually simply, well, this is my theory. First, I'm going to talk about theories, and then I'm going to talk about the full origins. My theory is that the Nightmare Animatronics are actually just the Crying Child's plushies, in the middle of the hallway, but there's the illusion discs inside them, so Michael sees them as moving and at the door and stuff. But they're not actually like that or in that shape at all. They're just plushies, and Plushtrap and Nightmare Balloon Boy are just a Plushtrap plushie, and Nightmare Mangle is just the Mangle toy in the sister's bedroom. That's all they are. Now, Nightmare. People have been debating what Nightmare is for the longest time. So, here, look at Dreadbear. Whoops. Look at Dreadbear, right? If you look really closely at Nightmare, you can see the endoskeleton inside him, and this is one of the reasons why I think Dreadbear is Nightmare. They are the same character. Now, if you brighten up an image of Nightmare, you actually see the endoskeleton inside him. But if you look closely, that doesn't necessarily need to be the endoskeleton. You can see it's actually not fully attached. The endoskeleton isn't fully attached to it. So I think that's actually a brain rather than the endoskeleton. Look at the actual shape of it. It could be a brain. The eyes are underneath the front of the object or whatever it is. It's not inside it, it's underneath it. So it could be the frontal lobe that's on top of it. So yeah, I think and yeah, obviously, as you know, we're trying to put a brain inside Dreadbear there. And this all has to do with the iconic line of "I will put you back together." So Nightmare and Dreadbear are the same, right? But the "I will put you back together" line is for the Crying Child from William. Obviously, here's William Afton. I found this online, and this is actually a really cool art of him. Yeah. The Crying Child is Nightmare, and the Crying Child is Dreadbear. Like I said, I think Dreadbear and Nightmare are the same character, because I think Nightmare was retconned, so he doesn't actually exist anymore. Dreadbear took his place. So yeah, the Crying Child is Nightmare and Dreadbear. What's this? Oh, nope, that's for a meme. Okay, so Crying Child is Dreadbear and Nightmare. We already established why Nightmare and Dreadbear are the same character, but let's establish why Crying Child is also them. So let's go back to this. I will put you back together. We know this is William, obviously. But what does this mean? I think Dreadbear / Nightmare is a physical animatronic. Okay, Injustice 2 is a physical animatronic, and not just a plushie. A physical animatronic in the house. And there's no, there was never any illusion discs or anything. That's just what he looks like. But it was actually Dreadbear in the lore, because Nightmare doesn't exist anymore, even though Nightmare is one of my favorite characters. But whatever. There's the Nightmare. Okay, what am I looking for? Yeah, there is also the so yeah, I will put you back together. He puts him back together in the experiment. And this also proves that Glitchtrap. This is one of the pieces of evidence that Glitchtrap is William Afton, because obviously William's the one that puts him back together to become Dreadbear, and also Dreadbear has all the stitches and stuff, just like Glitchtrap. So yeah, the Crying Child is Dreadbear. Also keep in mind that that Nightmare only appears in FNaF 4 on on after night 6, after the crying child dies, from what we know. So yeah. So that's more proof that crying child is Nightmare. And if crying child is Nightmare, then and Nightmare is Dreadbear, then crying child is Dreadbear. And also the ban, like I think I said this already, the banners that always keep saying 1983 on them, in Curse of Dreadbear, that is like obviously referencing the Bite of 83. And also there's the FNaF 4 house in the background, proving that it has something to do with that. So yeah, let's go through the origins. Okay, now let's start. So, William Afton. He's been like creating. He's the animatronic designer. But he doesn't really make many animatronics. Only a few later down the line. So he doesn't make any animatronics. He just designs them for Henry Emily, who builds them. And yeah. Sorry, I gotta crack my fingers. Anyway, so William makes a machine that is actually really dangerous, and he doesn't realize how dangerous it is, and it ends up killing his daughter, and this leads him to like a path of violence and anger and stuff. So he starts killing kids. He starts killing kids. And he wants his other sons to stay away from the animatronics. He puts the illusion discs inside the animatronics just to, like, this isn't the FNaF 4 gameplay. He just does that to make his son, I'm just gonna call him Chuck because that's what his name is in Step Closer, to make Chuck scared of the animatronics. And he also tells Michael Afton, the older brother, it's okay if you don't believe that Michael Afton is the older brother. I do, just because of Step Closer, but it's okay if you don't. Anyway, he tells Michael Afton to rip off the Foxy head and scare Chuck with it, just to make him more scared. But so yeah, he makes him, just to prove that Chuck is really scared, just to make sure that he did everything right. He forces him to have his He forces him to have his birthday party at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Or not Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, at Fredbear's Family Diner or Fredbear and Friends, one of the two. And yeah, this actually doesn't go to plan. He's so scared of them that, like, he made a mistake telling Michael to scare his younger brother with it. Michael goes too far with it and shoves him into Fredbear's mouth, and Chuck dies in Fredbear's mouth. William even gets way more insane after this. 2 years later, not 2 years later, but he ends up going into hiding. Hiding away from his wife, and his wife ends up divorcing him. And then, because of that, William actually edits Ballora, like, changes her voice, changes her design to use her as just like a placeholder for his wife, because he knows she's probably never going to come back, and he wants someone to comfort him and like be there for him. And since he designs her, obviously that can't go wrong, except he gives Ballora the personality of his wife, and when he did that, Ballora knew that he was hiding away, and Ballora still was mad at him for hiding away and stuff. So yeah, that didn't go to plan. And then when that happens, he decides, okay, I need someone in my life that I can trust. So he brings or something like that, I don't know exactly. but he brings Chuck back to life. He decides he wants to bring Chuck back to life. So what he does, he takes he kills a couple more kids, just a couple more, and takes their spirits, and mixed with his agony, he is he's able to create Remnant. That's his first creation of Remnant, which he also ends up mixing with Susie's dog. Like, he has Susie's dog in his basement somewhere, and he ends up mixing that with Susie's dog, the Remnant, and then the spirit ends up possessing Mangle. And then the Remnant is he uses the Remnant to infuse into another animatronic and also uses Chuck's spirit in the Remnant to create Dreadbear. And yeah, that's the origin story of Dreadbear. And then sorry, I can't sit still. I'm not very comfortable. About 10 years later, or not 10 years later, more like 8 years later, because it's 1985 at this point. He's killing more kids, and then some of them end up possessing the toy animatronics at that point. So yeah, anyway. And for some reason I can't breathe. I'm fine. What's wrong with me? Yeah. In 1993, Michael Afton, after moving out of his house, he returns to his childhood home and goes back to his old bedroom just to reminisce about the old days before everything went to hell. And then he in his bedroom he falls asleep. And then when he's woken up by a sound at 12 a.m. And then all the plushies are arranged in the hallways, and Michael doesn't see the plushies at all. He sees the nightmare animatronics walking around the halls, even though the plushies aren't moving at all. So yeah. And also, about 5-6 nights later, Dreadbear breaks out of the basement where he's being kept, because that didn't go so well. He breaks out of the basement and tries to attack Michael. So yeah, that's the origin story of the Nightmare animatronics and Dreadbear / Nightmare. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, and if you like my other videos, please do consider subscribing. Remember to subscribe to Chicken Dude 27 % Dudes all Kinley. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a like if you agree with this theory, or if you just think it's possible or interesting, or if you just enjoyed in general. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.